seemed that everything was going peacefully 3 years ago when you were much younger. But now things seems to be very tough in so many countries. You think there's a solution for the violence? You think we can move forward with the violence? What do you think is the solution for the violence in order to have a better democratic future, better civil society and so on?
So the solution here, I think, would be education. Education the youngster from the early age about democratic value, citizenship, and all those noble values, let's say. Because if we will not do this, someone else will do something else, and it will hurt later the nation.
So you support peaceful revolution?
Peaceful, yes. Mm-hmm. Peaceful revolution, because in my view, and after this 3 or 4 years, after the 2011, I believe in the revolution of the mind, not throwing stones or burning down some police station, because this doesn't work like this. We are all citizens in the same nation. Why we hate each other? So let's educate, let's change the mind, not the regime.
You don't agree?
At all. Because people are saying it was a peaceful revolution. It was peaceful from our side, nor not from the side of the states. We were killed. Young people, Tunisian young people were shot in the head. And what I personally think that when there is a violence from the state that we are paying, the state, the policemen that we are paying, we have to be violent. They are not leaving a choice for us. I'm paying his salary and he's beating me and I didn't do anything.
So, would you like to go on the street and later on get 300 people got killed? And later on, what changed in Tunisia? Really?
Thanks to these 300 people shot and the people who set the fire in the police station, you can do advocacy, you can have an NGO, and you can do whatever you want. You can call people to vote.
Because
we couldn't have, yeah, thanks to them. We couldn't have this if those people didn't go to the street and throw stones on the policemen. They are supposed to protect me as a citizen. They are not supposed to beat me. What I did personally, January 14, I was collecting rocks and giving them to the guys to throw them on the police.
As a piece of advice, Algeria went through 10 years of not violence but terrorism, and that wasn't really good. So in Algeria now there is a phobia of the revolution. How much time do you think violence you could, sustain this violence? I mean, how many years? 3 years, 4 years, maybe 5 years? In Algeria we have went through about 10 years of violence and we didn't get that much into that democracy.
What do you do when we have a situation like Syria, like Algeria was before, when the state will not give up, when new extremism and terrorism creeps in?
Syrian revolution, at the beginning it was it was not as much as violence as now.
It started as peaceful.
And it started like all the world was respected and all the world was fighting for their rights, yes. And I think it was going to be like the regime was going to step down, but if they keep the peace for a little bit more and more. But once they have the gun and the other side have the gun, the world cannot say anything anymore. Like, okay, now it's an equality of power, as she said, and we have to step back and they have to solve their problems by themselves. So I think violence, to fight violence, to end violence, you have to respect minds of the people when you are talking to them. You have to have open-minded people in your country.
It's all about education, and from an early age, we should teach our children how to communicate, how to manage to communicate in a peaceful way.
In every country, actually, not even in this part of the world, if some minority rights are denied or observed as not being as important as the others, then you are going to trigger violence among these minorities. So It also comes from actually the effectiveness of the government, the effectiveness of their organizations. It is their mission to make sure that all citizens are treated equally. The true revolution right now that is happening, the post-revolution, is the revolution of the mind. You were talking about terrorism. I'm more inclined to talk about terrorism of ideas. When you hijack the truth, when you hide, when you manipulate through campaigns, that's the big problem. That's where you're going to manipulate the youth and all the other parts of the population. So truly what we are going through right now, an evolution or a revolution of the mind.
We never knew what democracy is. We never knew how to talk to each other, how to have a peaceful dialogue. So here comes our role as activists to raise awareness, to try to resolve conflicts, to try to communicate peacefully and to listen each other, to respect others' opinions, and to forget about your individual profit and think about Tunisia or your own community as a whole.
So after many years of dictatorship of sort, people need time in order to be able to communicate and be able to tolerate and so on.
Democracy is a whole process. We need to be patient with each other, and we need to try to tolerate each other.
Sure, we need time, but we don't need too much time. We don't want this to run and run and run till people lose hope, lose passion, lose motivation, and they don't listen to each other anymore. I see the energy in the Arab youth. I see that they had the energy, and also, most importantly, they have the capacity. They have the capacity to understand, they have the capacity to change their minds, and they have the capacity to influence others.
We are active. We want to change something. We want to learn and to educate others.
I have to sit in my country and construct it and make the future of my children, of the children of my children, better.
We are optimistic. Just one point that I want to mention more, that the youth has to take part in decision making and to advise those who are leading the country. Don't be afraid from the youth. We are not enemy, but partner.